We got Palo Santo here, aka Holy Wood, to really set the mood, set the space.
It's also good for your respiratory, no?
Really?
I just know sage can clean the air from like harmful bacteria and stuff,
Right.
you know. But Palo Santo, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I'm pretty sure it
specifically
does.
it does. Yeah, it opens your lungs, your respiratory.
We survived the first one, so
Oh,
I just said that.
past that. No, I'm just kidding. Smells great. Palo Santo, Masonic or not?
Espírito Santo.
All right. So where should we put this? Pass it back to AJ.
Do the final hit.
Yes. Welcome to episode number 4 of Masonic or Not. Thank you guys for joining us again. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Share this video. Today is a very important subject, and I think in more ways than one. You know, we're not just talking about this specific symbol itself, but we are also talking about the dual nature of symbols. And today's topic that we're going to dive deep into is going to be the all-seeing eye. And no, it has nothing sinister or evil attached to it, though some people may think so. But it is a symbol, nonetheless, that we can choose to view any which way. And, you know, we were talking earlier as well regarding the all-seeing eye. And I want to ask you guys again regarding your opinion about the all-seeing eye, and for us to have an open conversation about that specific symbol, as well as just symbols in general. And just so we pave the road for future talks regarding different symbols that people may or may not have negative connotations attached to. So I'd like to start with Brother Nico, if you would. Please give us your opinion about the all-seeing eye. Is it Masonic? Is it not? What is your overall opinion?
Well, I would definitely say the all-seeing eye for me is definitely Masonic because it's undeniable the all-seeing eye isn't a symbol. And to me, every symbol that makes you or gives you the opportunity to understand a higher level of understanding of what you were previously understanding, any symbol that does that, to me, is Masonic. And the symbolism in the all-seeing eye that I see is it represents something that is above the dualistic nature of things. Like the whole reality to me is, as we see it with our senses, it's either black and white, good or bad, positive or negative. And I think the all-seeing eye is trying to represent above that state of mind, to be able to see not just with your two eyes, but to understand that there is something there is something that creates the good and the bad, the positive and the negative, the black and the white. So that's the one thing about the all-seeing eye that I think what it symbolizes, but it's also a state of mind, which a lot of religions and spiritual teachers talk about it, and they even say like Jesus achieved that, Buddha achieved that state of mind where it's like
unity consciousness.
Yeah, where you can see with your mind like through your third eye. And this is actually the other name. We should maybe mention that the all-seeing eye has few names, like few of them is like the third eye, or even the science these days, it's referring to the pineal gland to be the third eye.
The eye of providence.
The eye of providence.
Yeah, there
eye
is
of
more.
Horus. Why do you think people attribute evil to
the
that,
all-seeing eye.
to that symbol?
Yeah, like I was saying, because the nature of things is dualistic.
Black and white.
So if we say the symbol of the all-seeing eye has both the good and the bad, so when you tell that to someone that that symbol represents the bad, even though it represents the good too, but they automatically will say, oh, okay, so it represents the negativity, so they automatically think it is a negative sign. This is like how I see it, trying to simplify everything.
Bro, AJ, what do you think when it comes to the all-seeing eye? Why do you think people attribute negative, sinister connotations to it?
Well, it's a mystical symbol for one, you know, and I think anything like a mystical symbol is open for multiple interpretations. Masonically, we're told it's, you know, the symbol of deity. It's the consciousness of the omnipresence of God, that he sees everything all time. He's all seeing. The Egyptians in the Eye of Horus, it was like a symbol of healing. I think on the negative connotation, it's scary looking. You know what I mean? Like you see an eyeball like staring at you. It kind of has this like almost fright. You're instantly kind of frightened. Like who's looking at you? You know? There's like an 80s movie, Flight of the Navigator, that I think about. Like there's like this little alien, and all it is an eyeball, and it jolts you. So the same way that I think God, there's always you associate one with the other. So if you believe in a God, most people believe that, then you'll believe that there's the opposite, that you believe in a devil. If you believe in good, then there must be evil. So I think that's where it naturally gets misconstrued. But yeah, the Illuminati.
Yeah, I feel like pop culture has a big part in just
feeding those images.
Yeah, I don't want to say degrading. I don't want to say degrading, but definitely like, you know, false pretense or
falsely representing.
Yeah, false representation of what these symbols do mean. And it's like, and it's cool. Like it's cool for the celebrities to like, you know, show the all-seeing eye and be all mysterious. Exactly. And I think that's what it is, bro. I think naturally things that are mysterious, and we talked about this in the first episode, right? Secret societies, things that are mysterious, things that are unknown and not naturally, accepted, can be things that people are like, whoa, what does this mean? And symbols in general, if there is no symbol, if there is a symbol and that symbol has no meaning really attached to it, to the popular world, to the general population, then anybody can come and say, this is what this means. And people will adopt what that means. And ultimately, everything gets misconstrued, like a game of telephone. Like, oh, this is a bad symbol. This is what this means.
But you see, that's all personal interpretation.
Correct.
So we can judge things just by a couple people or a group of people, how they interpret.
Research and education, you know, things like that. These are valuable things, you know, to learn, you know.
Correct.
Because I think people have their own understanding of a lot of things by what they see, and what they see is pretty limited, you know.
That's the point of symbols, to break those.
Yeah, to break those limitations.
Right.
Yeah,
understand things subconsciously.
Yeah, that's you know, as we said previously in our conversation, you're having a conscious exchange with these symbols. What we perceive right off the bat, that's the limitation. But if we sit there long enough, maybe meditate on the symbol long enough, we start having a conversation with that symbol, and that symbol can bring to us new information regarding what that symbol means.
I think that's the point of all symbols, to do this.
Correct. And in Freemasonry, That's what we say. We say a system of morality illustrated by symbolism and
Veiled in allegory.
veiled in allegory. So the all-seeing eye, not something sinister. It represents deity in Freemasonry. It represents, to me, the force that is always present, even when we think nobody is watching. There is a cosmic force, a divine force that exists, unifies, and connects all beings, all things. And to me, that is what the all-seeing eye is representative of. So I also want to now, let's take it a little further for some individuals, not all, some individuals might think that the dollar bill in the back is something, associated with, again, that evil connotation. And we should dive into that a little bit. We should dive into the dollar bill, which, again, the dollar bill is filled with symbolism. It's filled with symbolism. It doesn't necessarily mean these symbols mean something bad.
Or directly Masonic.
Or directly Masonic, absolutely. Or directly Masonic, yep. They are just symbols, and they were put there for a very specific reason. And if you want to dive really deep into that, I suggest looking up the secrets of the dollar bill. But for our present purpose, we're not going to dive super deep about the history, how it came about, who had the idea to put all those symbols in the back of the dollar bill. But for our present purpose, let's just talk about the all-seeing eye on the dollar bill.
Well, I would like to say, seems like someone realized the importance of the all-seeing eye, so they chose it to be on the dollar bill. That's undeniable, because there was people, humans like us, maybe it was brothers, I'm not really sure, who exactly made the dollar bill, but whoever did it, they realized the importance of the all-seeing eye. And as we see, it goes on the top of the pyramid, which means like
capstone.
And
chief cornerstone, right?
The pyramid kind of represents...
It completes the pyramid.
Yeah, it's on top of the pyramid. And the pyramid represents to me the whole reality, society, everything that we can see through our senses.
Yeah.
And the all-seeing eye is above all this.
Also our relationship with God.
Interesting. And I want to say the pyramid itself, it's 4 triangles made up of 3 sides. And that equals 12. So 3 times 4 equals 12. Yet the capstone, the top, is that all-seeing eye. And we see the number 12 in many places, 12 zodiac signs, 12 disciples.
12 months of the year.
12 months of the year.
Keeps
Beautiful.
going.
And so we wanted to dive a little deeper into that, whether the all-seeing eye is Masonic or not, specifically on the dollar bill. So I'm going to ask you guys about that as well, and what you think. We'll start with Nico.
Well, again, I think my answer here would be the same. To me, every symbol that can make you receive a higher understanding, it is Masonic. So, and the all-seeing eye undeniably does that, because it takes you above the dualistic nature of things and makes you understand the true nature of God, which is all religions or spiritual teachings are trying to do that.
Right, unity, the unity of the eye of God.
Yeah,
right? Or spirit, or any higher power, or the universe, a singular occurrence, a singular thought, a singular action. And What about you, bro, AJ?
Well, the seal's Eye of Providence, on the dollar bill, I don't think is directly Masonic, but I think people around during the time, it was open. It was important to find something that was open for interpretation, and I think Masons, even the Masons back then, saw it and knew what it meant to them. But I don't think in their head it was a direct association to that symbol either. Yeah, as far as the dollar bill itself, there's a lot of symbolism going on. Like you said, we can't go
symbolism
between the amount of stars, between the amount of
steps,
feathers that are on the phoenix of eagle / the steps of the pyramid / of there's a lot of stuff, but directly to associate that with Freemasonry, no,
or anything evil,
right?
Because a lot of people say, "Oh, Freemasonry, Illuminati, shadow government." Some trying to control everything.
Right.
But let's
Which-
debate
well,
what
on
is evil for you? Like,
What is evil for me?
yeah.
Evil to me is when you infringe upon another person's right to live. Hurting somebody else. Infringing upon someone else's right to live would be my definition of evil.
Okay. Anything unpleasant?
You said anything unpleasant?
Yeah. Anything unpleasant? Anything painful?
Well, not unpleasant. Like I believe we can do evil to ourselves, but we're only cheating ourselves, and B, in my opinion, why would we do that to
And
ourselves?
Do you separate the evil from the good, or do you think they are two separate things?
They depend on each other. They depend on each other because, in my opinion, that higher source, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, the universe is actually realized through the opposites. You have to experience contraction before you can appreciate expansion. You have to fall down in order to appreciate what it's like to be on your 2 feet. And it's not always like that. It really depends on the individual, the person, because we all have different beliefs. We all view things in a different way. But I do believe that the ultimate nature of life is that singularity, is that unity consciousness, because everything depends on one another. Even the most grotesque things happen, which inevitably result in something happening that was, cause and effect. The cause was, you get hurt in a relationship. The effect could be that you become stronger and wiser and know what to do the next time. But like I said, this is it's my opinion because it really also depends on the person. Not everybody has really truly awakened, that mindset.
That was kind of my point. Even though someone is seeing something negative, we should not be discouraged by that.
Right.
Because what is more important is what is the real nature of things.
Correct.
And I don't think we can separate the good and the evil. They just go together because we are part of the whole universe.
Correct.
Speaking of the universe, and back to the eye, I've often heard things, be kind of rephrased as universe, is how you see things, but that the designer made his his creation in his image. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that comes to mind is this object called the Helix Nebula, which is,
I know that one,
650 light years away.
Interesting.
In NASA, and it's in the constellation of Aquarius. And
whoa,
yeah. So for NASA to kind of have this image,
is that really in the constellation of Aquarius? Let me see. I
And,
know that. I know. Yeah, I mean, we'll show it.
We'll flash it, but just for
We'll show
the
it. Wow.
the view of the eye, you know.
Oh, it looks like the eye.
Yeah.
It looks like the eye.
So even the fact that like
It's something that's represented in nature as well. It's not just something that is, Masonic or not.
right.
Well,
Well, the eyes being the windows to the soul.
To the soul.
Well,
Unless
now,
people
now
get
I
it when
have to
people
ask,
say-
is that the top of the universe? Because if the all-seeing eye is on the top of the pyramid.
Exactly. It's 600. I don't know. But just the fact that, you know, how you can get the saying, you can get lost in someone's eyes. You kind of, you know, that romantic
the
kind of
eyes
thing.
are the windows of the soul.
But you can really, like, if you look at someone's eyes, it's almost kind of like you can see the spirals. You start noticing all the color, indentation, all the.
It's like a mini universe.
It's a miniature universe, and and the fact that the universe, I believe, is conscious. You know,
I agree.
so are we, and
So it's almost like the universe is, as we're looking and experiencing, there is a force looking back.
there's a mirror, yeah,
And hence the two together, the synthesis of the two becoming that all-seeing eye. See, we're kind of like exploring, we're like diving deeper into the symbol and receiving, much like we said in the beginning, you know, we have the limitation, but the symbol and symbolism in general assists us in going beneath and through and underneath the veil, which hides the wisdom.
right, as above,
So below.
Wow.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. I don't know how you wanted to, if you wanted to discuss the who we are.
Oh, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. So, in the beginning, the first episode we did, we called ourselves the Centurions. And I believe we need to clarify and shed some light upon why we call ourselves that and how we got the name. Most importantly, how we got the name. When Brother Nico, he being the last one to, from us three, to get raised to the sublime
degree of Master Mason.
the sublime degree of Master Mason. The senior warden at the time, who is now the worshipful master of this lodge, or the president of the lodge, for those who are not Masons. Each year there's a different worshipful master, and worshipful simply just means honorable master. And when the current worshipful master was senior warden at that time, and at the end of the ceremony, he stood up and he said, these three gentlemen are the new centurions. And at first I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, who? The new centurions? And afterwards he clarified, he said the centurions were the guardians of the palace, the incorruptible Roman guards of Caesar, which is not to be confused with the Praetorians, who were
Personal guard.
the personal guards of Caesar, but centurions were the guardians of the palace, incorruptible guardians, and they were each in charge of 100 men, hence the name centurions. Okay. And there's some, it's interesting because he gave us that title. We didn't really know, and the journey kind of unfolded. The journey unfolded where Bro AJ started coming across different Bible verses that even speak of the centurion and their qualities. And
Yeah, Jesus told a centurion, you know, centurion told him that he had a sick friend, and Jesus said, "Oh, take me to him." And he says, "Oh, you're the Christ. You know, you don't have to come physically to him. Just say the word, and he'll be healed." And Jesus said, "I tell you this now, in all the land of Jerusalem, I found no one with more faith." And you know, basically, we were given something. The worshipful master saw three guys who were helping each other, coming together, becoming proficient,
to Masonry,
yeah, becoming more
in
versed,
heart and soul.
proficient in the degrees, and he gave us something to build ourselves. It was a starting of a group within a group, which is what you find out about Masonry. There's a lot of those, And, our ultimate goal, we do want to have a positive impact for our community here in Las Vegas.
And help Masonry.
Yeah, in relief and truth and charity. But right now, our first endeavor here is this podcast show we're proud to be a part of, and getting some of the just a new, fresh outlook and experience on what that is, on what Freemasonry is.
Correct.
And we can only provide our love and our joy and admiration of the craft, and do our part in misconstruing some of the falseness out there. And, we're real people just like you. We're all in this journey of life. We all have our faults. We all have our flaws. But this is a journey. This is a marathon. This is this is not a sprint. This is not a quick life. Like, this is something that over time, we found that it is a structure to help you better yourself, and the tools and the power is in your hands, and that empowerment. We want to carry on that message forth to speak to people that you're here in America and you're free, and that came at a cost, and you can build whatever life you want. There's no limitation or ignorance or evil out there that can steal it from you.
Just perception. Unless thine eye be single, thou can't enter heaven.
Amen.
Amen.
So
Brother
what to
Nico,
be?
what do you think of the centurion? What do you think our mission is? What do you feel our mission is?
No, our mission as centurions can't be any different than a regular Mason. We just, as centurions, what we have special is us three.
Heart.
And we have our heart, yes, but we do have ourselves. And I
Correct.
think our worshipful master at the moment, who formed us as centurions, he gave us something amazing. Like, it made us much closer. I really think if the centurions wasn't a thing, we probably wouldn't be that close as we are.
Right.
Maybe even the podcast wouldn't exist.
Yeah, most likely not.
So yeah,
Yeah, we're grateful. We're grateful for that. And like I said, in the beginning, I had no idea, what or who the centurions were. And just hearing Worshipful Master say those things, really struck a chord deep in my heart to make me want to help and contribute as much as we can to the craft, to Freemasonry. And we just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, we look forward to having many guests in the future from all the different independent bodies. We're going to have Knights Templar, Shriners, Scottish Rite members, Eastern Star, some of the youth groups.
And some non-Masons
Non-Masons
as well.
of course. People...
anyone that can come up with some good Masonic or not question.
We're open to your comments. If you have questions that you'd like to be answered personally, we'd love to address those as well.
Absolutely. Beautiful. So that was an amazing episode, in my opinion. We dove really deep into we dove really deep into the all-seeing eye, and also
Who we are.
symbols and who we are as Masons, as Freemasons. We just want to say big shout out to Vegas Lodge 32, our mother lodge. Big shout out to all our brothers worldwide, wherever you may be dispersed. We love this. We love what we do. We love Freemasonry. And any final words?
Oh, that's it, brother. You covered it.
Beautiful.
It's all covered.
Okay.
I'm AJ.
Keon.
And I'm Nico.
And this was episode 4 of Masonic or Not. Please share. Please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace be with you.
Peace.